Hey, what's up everyone, and welcome to another episode of In Silence. Your host, Faisal Alsager. Today I want to talk to you about the meaning of life. Your purpose here in this world, here in this life. See, many people emphasize living with purpose. That you must have purpose in your life. So because of that, many people externalize their purpose. They derive purpose from the external world. And that is a source of suffering. It does not help. It does not set you free. Externalizing your sense of purpose does not set you free. In fact, it imprisons you. It imprisons you. You become a slave to whatever it is that you think gives you purpose. So let's talk about the real purpose of life, the real meaning of life. Your real purpose in this life is to simply be. Well, does that mean I just do nothing all day and night, every day, the rest of my life? No, that's not what it means. But it does mean that you have to prioritize being first over doing. In this society that we live in today, in this day of age, everybody prioritizes doing and doing many different things and doing everything at once, baby. But we forget the most important thing, which is to be. And why do we forget that? Because we don't know how to be. So in order to fulfill your purpose of being, you have to first learn how to be. That means to do nothing without any distractions. To be doesn't mean to watch TV, doesn't mean to scroll through social media, doesn't mean to entertain yourself in whatever way or distract yourself in whatever way or get external stimulus. To be means simply to just be. To do nothing, to watch time pass by, to watch life as it unfolds, to be in the present moment, appreciating it, being mindful, focused on the present moment, not distracted by the past or the future. So I want to read you a really good quote from Alan Watts. I'll just pull up my phone here. This is a great quote on the meaning of life by Alan Watts. The meaning of life is just to be alive. It is so plain and so obvious and so simple. And yet everybody rushes around in a great panic as if it were necessary to achieve something beyond themselves. That's a great quote. That's one of my favorite quotes from Alan Watts. It's so plain and simple, the meaning of life, to simply be alive. And yet everybody rushes around in a great panic to achieve something beyond themselves, something greater than themselves. The meaning of life is to simply be alive. Don't chase the idea of greatness that you think society will reward you for, where you think you will be seen as worthy once you achieve that idea of greatness you have in your head. And don't try to go out and impress people. See, in this day of age, everybody's trying to impress others. On Instagram, it's like everybody's famous. Literally, everybody's famous. Even the normal people who live normal lives, so-called normal, are famous. Why? Because they have people that follow them on Instagram, people they follow on Instagram or Facebook or whatever social media, TikTok you use. I don't use these apps personally. I just use them to post my content. But back to the point. everybody wants to show the world an image or an idea of themselves, that of how they want to be seen, so they can feel worthy, so they can feel loved. And that's because they don't know their purpose. They don't know what the true meaning of life is. Maybe they know it conceptually in their mind. Oh yeah, it's just to be alive, just be, take it easy, take it simple, life is so simple. But I don't mean it in that way. It is so plain and obvious and simple, as Alan once said, but we overlook it. We're ignorant of it. We're ignorant of the simplicity of life. And so we take the meaning of life for granted. And then we externalize our purpose. We seek purpose from the world. And that causes us to suffer. Not only does it cause us to suffer, but it causes other people to suffer as well. So that's the meaning of life, to simply be alive. Your purpose here on this earth is to simply be. And if you don't know how to be, well, great, learn how to be. That's the most important lesson, I would say, in this life that you can learn. Because if you don't know how to be with yourself alone, if you don't know how to simply be, then how can you do anything in a great way? How can you treat others right? How can you feel fulfilled and happy and complete? How can you be healthy and strong and then give and serve? You can't do these things if you don't know how to be. So return to the original purpose of your life, that is to be. Return to the original meaning of life, that is to simply be alive, and don't overlook it. Now, let's go to another quote by Alan Watts about money. One of my other favorite quotes by Alan Watts. Let me pull it up here. If you say that getting the money is the most important thing, you'll spend your life completely wasting your time. You'll be doing things you don't like doing in order to go on living. That is, to go on doing things you don't like doing, which is stupid. Alan Watts. So here's the lesson. Forget the money. Money is important. Unfortunately, we live in a world where money rules everything, or at least it seems that way. But you don't need to see it as the most important thing. Sure, get the money, pay your bills, and do everything that you need to do, and all of that stuff. But set your priorities straight. See things the way they actually are. We live in a culture that worships money. So that's why the culture is not your friend. You see, empty consumerism floods the streets, and fear contaminates and plagues the minds of individuals. The culture we're living in worships money, and it sees you just as a means to an end. The culture doesn't care about you. And by culture, I mean the corporate world, everything that comes to your mind when we say culture. There's a good side to the culture, like traditions from various places that are beautiful. But I'm not talking about the beautiful cultures. I'm talking about the consumerist culture. Corporations, mainstream media. They only see you as a means to an end, because the culture worships money and it wants you to worship money. The Bible says, for the love of money is the root of all evil. Now don't confuse this. It's not saying that money is the root of all evil. Many people go through their lives confused, thinking that money is the root of all evil, but it's not. It's not saying that money is the root of all evil. It's saying that the love of money is the root of all evil. What does it mean when the love of money is the root of all evil? It means that you prioritize money as everything. You put it over everything and see it as everything. It is your God. And so you worship money. And unfortunately, that's the culture we live in today. But it can change. There's hope. There's hope when you and I come together in peace, in love, in strength, honoring the truth, knowing the real meaning of life, that is to simply be alive, knowing, fulfilling our real purpose, which is to simply be, and then coming together in the light to shed it fearlessly throughout the world. For the love of money is the root of all evil. Money is not the root of all evil, but the love of money is the root of all evil. To see money as everything, to see it as the most important thing, to put it above all things, that's what's evil, because then you don't prioritize the good. How can you see the light when you are so in love with the darkness? You have to feel some sort of resistance and suffering from the dark, caused by the darkness. You have to feel that the darkness is the cause of your suffering for you to go see the light. So the meaning of life is so simple. It's simply to be alive. And yet it's so plain and so obvious and so simple, but we still overlook it, and we're still rushing everywhere and anywhere in a great panic, trying to achieve something beyond ourselves, externalizing our purpose, receiving our purpose from worldly things, from material things. For the love of money is the root of all evil. If you don't know how to be, if you don't know how to fulfill your true purpose of being, not doing something out in the world, but being, to simply be alive. If you don't know how to do that and you overlook it, ignore it, then you are worshiping material things. You are worshiping the material world. You will always look for happiness and love from an external thing. You will think that love comes from an external body. You will think that happiness comes from worldly success or whatever it is, from a career or from a house or a car or all of these things and more. Fame, power. You will always look for a perfect relationship, but none of that is real. You can't hold on to anything in this world. So why waste time and worship something that you can't even hold on to? Why not turn towards the truth and worship the truth fully? But you can only do that if you learn how to be. If you know what it means, learn what it means to simply be alive. So don't go out there after listening to this and try to impress people or try to achieve something greater than you. Or sure, you can have goals and you can have dreams, but don't make it your source of purpose and happiness. Always remember this. Your purpose is to be. You are life. Life doesn't need much. Just observe life and see your purpose in it. And finally, the meaning of life is to simply be alive. I wish you great fortune. God bless you. I'll see you next time.